is the ultimate evidence, when in fact healing is just an indicator of God's power to do the greater work. You see, the greater work is actually saving a soul. If you're saved, whenever you look in the mirror, you're looking at God's greatest work. The greater work is redeeming that which has been lost. The greater work is making a broken, spiritual vessel whole. It don't cost blood for healing. It costs blood for salvation. It costs blood because salvation requires forgiveness of sins. And the scriptures declare without the shedding of blood, there ain't going to be no forgiveness of sin. In the 9th chapter of Matthew, Jesus encounters a sick man, and the sick man is paralyzed. That's the nature of his sickness. And the Lord told the man, he said, look, be of good cheer. Your sins are forgiven. Now, folks standing around, first of all, some folks think that's crazy. This man paralyzed, and you going to tell him his sins are forgiven. He's still paralyzed. And then there are other folks standing around, some naysayers say, well, he's operating outside the law. I mean, who would he think he is that he can forgive sin? And then Jesus says, he says to them, he says, which one is it easier for me to say? Your sins are forgiven? Or rise and take up your bed and walk. And then Jesus says to them, but he looks at the man, and he said, I want y'all to understand that the Son of Man have power on earth to forgive sin. And he says so that you may know, listen to me, because you all are visual people. You tend to believe what you see. You can't see salvation, but you can see healing. He says that you may know that the Son of Man have power to do the unseen work inside of a man's heart. Let me give you something to see. Take up your bed and walk. And so healing is the lesser thing that indicates God has the power to do the greater thing. Tell your neighbor there's something beyond healing. See, now here's the other thing I want you to see. Shanika, there are many types of healings. There are relational healings. There are intellectual healings. You know, man mind confused. He can't figure out if 3 plus 3 is 6 or 3 plus 3 is 7. He needed mind to be healed. Are y'all listening to me? There are all kinds of, there's economic healing. Our country just experienced great economic healing. But the problem is they have not gone beyond. There are financial healings. You know, you broke, tore up from the floor up, got bankruptcy and rupsy. You know, you need to have a financial healing. And God can fix your finances overnight. And then, of course, there are physical healings. Many of us have experienced, in the past tense, one or more of these healings. But we may not have gone beyond. Now the passage today is a Lenten passage, just the Lenten season, 40 days before Calvary, and Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem. And how do I know that? Because I read it. It says that it came to pass as he went to Jerusalem. He's not there yet. He's going to, and the passage is about Jesus and 10 men. Now, ladies, don't check out on me because the passage is about 10 men. Because the passage ain't about gender specific. It could have been about 10 women. It just happens to be about 10 men. And the 10 men in the passage that could have been women have leprosy. Now y'all glad there's 10 men, ain't you? Y'all leprous hindparts. Now, leprosy is is a strange disease, Brother Cliff. It's a strange disease, Katisha. It starts with something happening around the nose, a couple of little spots around the nose that are almost unnoticeable, and then they spread all over the body, and the next thing you know, Shonda, your fingers fall off. You're walking down the street, your skin becomes putrid. You have to put some kind of wrap around you to hold your skin together because it falls off as you walk. Your nerves are deadened so that you could be on fire and not feel it. That's the nature of leprosy. And when a man got leprosy, he had to go show himself to the priest, and the priest would check him out. There's a whole lot in Leviticus, whole story about how they did it. But he had to go and check the man out, and once he pronounced the man a leper, that man could have no more fellowship with anybody. He had to be sent out to a leper's colony. In other words, when he woke up in the morning and when he spent his day, when he laid down to sleep at night, he spent his whole life around lepers. What can be worse than being tore up and never being able to have a relationship with anybody who wasn't tore up? I mean, you may be broke, but you're able to have relationships with people who got money. And that's an inspiration to you that you can do better. You understand what I'm saying, Brother Everett? I mean, like, you know, you spend your whole life around Cowboy fans. That's messed up, tore up. You wish you could just spend it around one Steeler fan. That's one. But when you have leprosy, you are sent to a community of lepers. And so these guys have leprosy. Now, let me tell you that the condition of these 10 men is both physical and sociological. It's physical because they got leprosy. It's sociological because this group of men consists of Jews and Samaritans. Now, Samaritans are not normally accepted in the circle of Jewish people because they are Jews, and they didn't fellowship with mixed breed Samaritans, which were bred of Assyrians and Jewish people. But you know, it's a strange thing about struggles. Struggles make a whole lot of stuff go out the window. Because you got something more in common than, you know, what nationality you were born into. Are you praying with me here? I mean, you know, we got a whole lot of racism in our country, but I've seen winos and they'll be hanging out white, black, and they ain't got no issue with the color you got as long as you got a bottle. Am I right about it? So you remember this woman that Jesus asked for a drink of water, and her response was, how is it that you asked me for a drink being a Jew? You know, because the Jews ain't got no dealing with the Samaritans. Now this group, 10 men, has two things in common. They have both a challenge and a chance. Now, the challenge is they have an incurable disease called leprosy. They need divine healing. But their chance comes from the fact that they met a divine healer, Jesus. And everyone in here today has challenges. If you don't have challenges, I want you to get up right now and come lay your hands on me and pray for me. Everybody got challenges. I mean, the Bible is clear. It says man born of a woman is a few days and full of sorrow. Everybody in here is going to experience death. If it ain't your own, it's going to be somebody else that's close to you. You're going to experience pain. Are y'all praying with me here? If you ain't walked out on somebody, somebody going to walk out on you. You're going to lose a job. The way things are now, ain't no such thing as working 30 years and getting a watch. They don't work no more. You work on projects. When the project ends, you're unemployed.